hello everyone. I am so excited to welcome Joy Adams to our podcast, Indie Authors and Music. I have been wanting to talk to her since I got the opportunity to talk to Gary Farmer, and finally it is happening. I'm so excited. Welcome to our podcast, Joy.
Thank you, Tammy. It's nice to be with you.
I'm so
Nice to
glad
share
you're
all this wonderful information.
I love it. So we're going to begin by just having you kind of tell everyone who you are and what you do.
Oh dear. I am from New Zealand. This is my hometown. This is where I've lived all my life, and music has been a huge part of my life. Grew up in a family of four older brothers, and music was always playing on the radio and music CDs, records. Just loved music in general, and sort of started up at quite a young age, around about 13, 14, joining. We have country music clubs here, which are designed to help up and coming anybodies who are able to get up and sing songs. We have bands, and you can get up there and just get up and have a go. So I've been doing that since I was about 13, and it just evolved over the years. I'm very lucky in my early. Actually, I was a late starter when it came to recording music. I was in my 30s before I started recording, and since then I've recorded 22 albums,
Oh,
which
wow.
is quite significant.
It is.
Um, my
Absolutely.
mum helped me into my very first album, funded me, and then that album sort of helped fund the second one, and then it sort of evolved over that period of time. But music's always been really big in my life. In the 1990s, mid 1990s, I started working in radio, and that show was the Indian classic country show. Used to love sort of promoting a lot of independent artists even back then. So it's just always been there. Music's always going to be part of my life till the day I die. It's just what I do. And
I love it.
with Gary, it's kind of like evolved a little bit more now too. So yeah, no, it's great. I love writing songs. I've always been a bit of a songwriter, and I'm very proud that some of the songs that I have written over the years have been recorded by other people, and also have won a few major awards throughout New Zealand and Australia. And of course, we'll touch on the ISA Awards a little bit later on. But
Yes.
it's a great journey. Music is a great journey, pulls
What
people together.
it does. And what a great start because you touched on so many things that we want to talk about. I was listening to your radio show just earlier before we got on here to do the podcast, and it was great. You did a great classic country or traditional country radio show. And could you tell us a little bit about that, what you do? And
Yeah, I was very lucky because in right during COVID times, I had the opportunity to. I got invited by the New Zealand Country Music Radio Network. We just call it nzcmr.com, and asked them. They asked me if I would like to do a show, and I sort of thought, well, that's something I can do from home. I don't have to actually be in a physical studio. Don't have to drive anywhere. So I was lucky enough to be able to get that set up on my computer, and it's really been a wonderful thing for me because over the years I've traveled extensively overseas, throughout Europe, throughout states, performing, and I've met so many indie artists, and of course everybody gives everybody their CD.
yeah,
So some of these CDs I've had for 20 plus years, and I thought what a great opportunity to be able to share their music on radio. And of course the library itself has great access to music. But I mean, I grew up with Charlie Pride and Dolly Parton and Hank Snow and Anita Carter and all of those sort of people, Statler Brothers, New Zealand artists. I love it all, but I particularly like promoting independent country music, because I figure people now don't tend to play a lot of the stuff that's from the States now, because I don't figure that they really need me to help promote them. They've got big major record companies behind them. So I like to promote the underdog. I've always done that, and I always will.
that's awesome. Now, you have more than one show, correct? More than one radio show?
I do. I started off, I was just going to do one show a week, and I enjoyed it so much. I thought, oh, well, I'll do three. And I thought, oh, gosh, it takes up a lot of time because I do 2 hour shows. And yeah, so Monday mornings for me, that's usually the New Zealand, and it's a Kiwi and Aussie country show. So it's all exclusive music from New Zealand and Australia. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays are classic country, which also includes independent artists as well. I also have my own Mixcloud show. So some of the shows that I record will go directly to Mixcloud, which means that because of the time factor for overseas people, it's not always suitable for people to tune in and listen when I'm on air live. So the Mixcloud show gives people the opportunity where they can just go and click onto it any time of the day or night and listen to the show whenever it suits them. And I just do them up in hour lots because yeah, I find the attention span for listening online in particular is around about an hour. And and what I try to do too is I try to let the artists that I'm playing, I let them know, and the hope is that they will share that on their Facebook pages and with their social media network, and that then brings in more people to my Mixcloud show.
Yes.
It doesn't always work like that because I find a lot of artists are sort of a little bit self-absorbed, and I feel like if you don't support the DJ, then yeah, it's frustrating. It's hard. Internet radio is very hard.
Yes.
It's very, very hard. It's not like the old physical days of being on radio, which I did 12 years on physical radio, and the place was buzzing all the time. The radio, the phone wouldn't stop ringing. In fact, you'd take the phone off the hook because you couldn't get through your show
Right.
without the phone ringing 30, 40, 50 times. Oh, can we have a request? It's a bit different with internet radio, and I must admit, I still prefer being on physical radio. It's
Right.
a lot more interactive, and you'd get people that would just drop in, and you would do interviews, and yeah, no, those were real fun times. So trying to really build this at the moment. So these shows are now syndicated now to around about 40 different stations worldwide, and also about 13 countries now, which is really cool. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
So if you played on
amazing.
my shows, you're gonna get played in 13 different countries
And what
and
a
40.
great resource that is for indie artists.
It is.
And with the community, like you said, if everyone with the community could share and really promote each
Mm,
other, what a
yeah.
powerful thing that is.
Well,
And
it
it's
well, that's
building.
how I think of it like that too. It doesn't
Exactly.
always doesn't actually pan out so much like that, but, all
Right.
we can do is try, and sometimes I'm not that, media savvy myself. I probably need to learn a little bit more about marketing myself, but, all I can do is try and present the best show I can, and, they're all recorded, and I'm getting great feedback from the various radio stations that they go out to. So I'm happy about that. So
That's
that's all
amazing.
you know, and I think it's wonderful for an artist to say, well, for example, I had an email from somebody from Oregon yesterday who said that they heard a song called "If It's Not Love" played on the local radio station, and he asked me if he could buy that CD. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, that's really cool. So I know the DJ, not personally, we haven't actually had much contact, but I send him my music. And it's the first time I've found out that he's actually been playing it. So I feel real happy about that. So I'm going to actually
Wonderful.
write to him and thank him. Yeah.
So let's
Mm.
go ahead and talk about that because that interest in that specific song, if it's not love, has
Yeah.
has really kind of sprung up in more than one place, right?
It's a little bit strange because that particular album came out in 2011. It's quite an older album. It's an album I've never marketed. I did in New Zealand. It sold very well in New Zealand, but I haven't actually hadn't put any of those songs up on download sites because I've got that many other albums since then. Been concentrating more on the more recent stuff that I've been doing with Gary, and so I was a little bit shocked. So that particular song had been released earlier and done really well with radio stations. So I thought, it was probably about 8 or so years ago. And I thought, "No, I'll refresh it and I'll send it out again," because I've got a lot more radio stations on board that I used to have, and so I sent it out again. And, yeah, so what we did, I just talked to Gary Farmer yesterday, my go-to person to help me with IT and everything,
Yes.
and, so I said to him, "Could you help me get that available on Kunaki.com," which is an organization that you can they will sell your CDs. They actually make them and sell them, and you can order. Anybody from anywhere in the world can order direct from them,
Okay.
uh, and it's all in US dollars, which is quite good. So, for example, for me to send a CD from New Zealand, you'd have to mortgage your house up. It's so expensive to
Right.
actually postage is ridiculously
Right.
expensive. So if you're from America, it's easier for you to buy in American dollars from an American company,
Yes.
and so that's what we've done. So they've got about 6 of my albums available now there for people to buy directly from them, and they will just post it directly to you. And luckily, I kept all my artwork from the printer and all the master files and everything. So it all went to Gary, and he put it all up online yesterday.
That's
So,
amazing. So it is
it,
available, and
yeah,
repeat
yeah,
where
and
that
Gary,
is
yeah,
available.
got and Gary's got all his music up there as well, and
Mm.
it's just another opportunity. I've put If It's Not Love onto all good download sites. It hasn't quite come up yet. It won't be far away. That song was written by Alan Barron from New Zealand, who is a great songwriter. He's a really lovely songwriter, and that song is it's just a very nice, cruisy little song. It's lovely.
That's
So
amazing.
we
So
shall wait and see what happens.
absolutely. Now repeat again where that is available. So if people want to go and get that or download it.
Okay. It's www.kunaki, which is KUNAKI.com. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, and if you just put in Joy Adams or Gary R. Farmer, you'll be able to find our music there.
Perfect.
So it's really good. Yeah. So you can buy the actual physical albums, and some of them I think you can actually do downloads as well. I don't know if Love, Love, Love is the name of that album. And yeah, I'm really happy with the fact that, and that album has actually got some really nice songs on it. So it'd be really good to get some more of those songs out there.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it's just hard because, having done 22 albums, it's really hard to pick what ones you want to put up online. And there wasn't actually a lot of original songs on that album. So it gets a little bit expensive because when you upload, it costs per song. And yeah, it gets a bit expensive. But,
It does.
you,
It
you
does.
pick and choose your best babies.
So before we move on, I just want to, I know you said that your radio shows are on Mixcloud so that people can access those. How else can people plug into your radio shows if they want to become listeners of your
Oh,
programs?
it's really hard. Probably the best thing to do is actually join me on Facebook
Okay.
because, I'm constantly sort of advertising when the next show's coming up.
Okay.
Um, as far as the Mixcloud show goes, I'm just frantically writing it down so I can remember. You can once again you can go to my website, which is www.joyadams, one word, .co.nz, or NZ for you. We say Z. So joyadams.co.nz.
Perfect.
NZ. So if you went there, you can actually listen to my Mixcloud shows on there, and you can join. It's mixcloud.com, Joy Adams _radio mix. But it's easier just to do that, or just join me on Facebook. I'm easy to find. I think it's Joy Adams Music. So it's facebook.com/Joy Adams Music. One word.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm.
Thank you so much. So you're talking about songwriting, and I know that you have been nominated and won many times already. And this year, you're also nominated for some awards with the ISSA award. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Tell us a little bit about all that.
Okay. Um, I've had a lot of success with songwriting here in New Zealand and Australia. The first song I ever wrote won me New Zealand Country Songwriter of the Year, which kind of shocked me. Um, so that kind of set things off around about 1990, and then since then I've also written lots of awards and things as well. The album that we won at ISA in 2023, this is the album that Gary and I produced, and it has a number of original songs on there that are some of them co-written with Gary and some of them on my own. And that particular album, the album was called Just One Little Thing. That actually won me international female album of the year in
Wonderful.
2023. So
Congratulations on that.
yeah, that was a thrill. That was a big thrill for me. This year, I'm up for Song of the Year. I can't remember. There's a radio station as well. I think there's 3 or 4 things that I'm up for. There's so many people that enter into this competition. It's huge. And what happens now is from I think it's the 2nd of April for a month, it's fan voting. So pretty much, we're going to be getting online and asking people to give us a vote, and Gary will be in the mix. There'll be a lot of people that will be on Facebook trying to push, because the first part of it is definitely fan and audience based. And so you've got to try and get into the top, I think it's the top 16.
Okay.
And then once if you can get into that top 16, then what happens is that then it's actually voted on by the judges. So,
Okay.
We sort of try and pull out all our resources and hope like heck that our people that support us will get in behind us and actually give us a vote so that we can get through and be considered for that next round. So it's not that easy. Some people don't like that type of an award, but I think that it's valid. It's good that you've got a good, any artist needs a good support network behind them. And I think we all constantly try to, it's a little bit different now because I'm not getting out there performing as much as I used to, but I still have a good solid following, and hopefully they'll all get in behind it as well. So that one I've entered in for. There's a couple of other things that I've entered in for that we'll find out soon whether or not we are in the mix or not. It's kind of hard. I don't know. Awards are kind of hard. I don't know. I just get on and do it really, but it is nice. It is lovely to actually win something. I was totally shocked when I won the ISA award. It was a beautiful award, absolutely beautiful. And because Gary was sitting beside me, he said, "You're going to win it. You're going to win it." I went, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Yes, you're going to win it. You're going to win it." No, I'm not. And likewise, he won the producer engineer the year before last, I think it was. Yeah. So, it is nice to win something because it just gives you that little bit of a lift, and it's a good thing on your CV too, which is always lovely. Yeah.
And it's some great validation for all the work that you're
Yeah.
doing.
It
And
is. It is. Yeah.
the community, that's something that we were talking about earlier, is you're getting support and votes from that community that you're working on building,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
wonderful. And,
Well, hopefully, hopefully, yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. Hope I haven't annoyed anybody, so they're saying we're not going to vote for her.
Mark
Could
her off.
happen. Yeah. But they have the American section, which is all American artists only, and then they'll have the international. So I'm up against the Australian artists, and there's a lot of Aussie artists in there. The first year I was in there wasn't. I think they all saw that I'd done really well, so everybody said, "Oh, we'll better do this now. We don't want her to win again." So,
Okay.
and then of course we went off to last year too. We went off to the Netherlands, and both of us come back with an awards in the Netherlands as well for the Red Carpet Awards. So we are up for an award for that too, and that would be around about October later on this year. So we're not going, but because it's actually going to be online this year rather than traveling, which I'm quite grateful for because I don't really want to go to the Netherlands. I don't really want to go anywhere at the moment the way things are.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's transition a little bit because you've spoken a lot about indie artists and how close to your heart they are, and how that really is a lot of what you love doing, is promoting and educating and working with indie artists. And you and Gary R. Farmer, I forget to put that R in the middle,
Yeah.
have put together the Indie Music Consultants. And tell me, what is that and what in the world are y'all doing?
It's funny because, well, once again, we were at the ISA Awards and they had a little bit of a get together thing on the Friday. This was the second one that we'd attended. I couldn't enter, but this was the second one. And they had like a meet and greet, and you could come over and you could talk about what you do and all that. So we set up Indie Music Consult. We'd already decided we were going to do this, and it was really interesting to us because so many entertainers that were even at the ISA Awards didn't know about protecting their songs. You know, they'd written a song, they'd released it, they'd put it out there. They didn't know what an ISRC code was, which is a unique code that's tagged to your music, so that when it gets played on radio, you get credited for it. You know,
Neat.
um, the lack of information from that first year that we went was unbelievable. And I found the same thing happens here in New Zealand too. People think that they can just grab a karaoke track, put a vocal on it, and then put it out to radio
Right.
or start selling it. And you can't.
Mm-mm.
You've got to get a license. You've got to go and do all of the formal aspects of it. And that was happening here in New Zealand. You know, you just can't do that. But there is a real lack of information. So we decided we were at his house, we were at Gary's house, and they what are we going to call this thing? Oh, I don't know. What do we want it indie? We definitely want it indie. There's a lot of indie somethings out there. You
Yes,
know, there's
I've
heaps.
discovered.
You know, and I can't remember what we actually wanted, but it was already taken. You know, and so we thought, well, indie music, well, yeah, we like that. And then consultants is a bit flash. And we thought, well, that's what we want to be. We want to consult people and help them. So we couldn't put indie music helpers. Consultant sounds a little bit more important.
National. Yeah.
So yeah. So that's how it did. And then we sort of worked on a logo, and so the logo happened, and then all of a sudden we've got t-shirts, and now we've got coffee mugs. And it's great because here in New Zealand, I mean, Gary has sort of become now an adopted Kiwi because he has recorded so many New Zealand artists. And I don't even know. I don't even think I can count the amount of people that he's done tracks for here in New Zealand and also in Australia. And I think that over the years that I've known him, I think his actual the quality, the new sounds that he's bringing in and everything, he's evolving, and everybody does. Your vocal
Yes.
changes over the years, and I think he's producing some really nice music. And for some situations, people will come here and do the vocals with me if Gary's not around. If he's around, they'll come and do the vocals here with him. And of course, he does the recordings over there in the States, and he sends them off to the people here or anywhere in the world for that matter. And so that's that aspect of it. And then, of course, I help do the artwork for their songs. And then I help with getting it out to radio. So we're trying to be a one-stop shop for everybody. And I'd said to you earlier before we started recording that, you know, what Gary is trying to do and what he did with me in those early days when we first started chatting, I hadn't been very well and I wanted to get my music available online. And he said, well, I can help you do that. And I went, oh, would you? You know, could you? And he says, yeah, I can help you do that. I'm not going to do it for you, but I will help you do it. And I was kind of a bit put out because I really wanted him to do it and just take that pressure off me. He went, no, you need to learn how to do it yourself. And I was a bit grumpy about it, but he basically, I was on the phone with him for an hour and more. No, you push that button and you push that button and you do this and this is what you got to do. So I got my music online, and I'm so grateful for him for doing that, because as artists, we need to be the master of our own ship.
Yes.
We need to run it. We need to know where our music is, where it's being played. You know, we need to know who's got it, who's own it, who owns it. You know, do you own it?
Yes,
It needs to be all done properly.
it does.
And you know, it starts with writing a song or you know, having a song, making sure that song is registered, making sure you can follow it from its inception right through to being played on radio, because, you know, it's hard to make any money in this business, especially with streaming. It's just, you know, a non-existent thing. But, you know, you've got no show if you don't have it all done properly. And I'm forever grateful that he um, made me do it. I'm stubborn Sagittarian. I hate change. I hate learning new things. Well, I wouldn't say I hate learning new things. I find it very hard to learn new things. But once I have learned it, I usually retain it and I usually know it really well. But, you know, I get really grumpy when a program will change and you've got to learn how to do something differently. That drives me nuts. And, you know, and it's like, you know, the programs that Gary and I work, he's set my computer up identical to his, so that the
That's
recording,
great.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if anything goes wrong, if I've pushed a button and I've deleted something, he goes, okay, go back to there. Let's do this. I'll put it back
For
on
me.
there. Yeah, and it's working really well. But, you know, we're just trying to get people to be the master of their own destiny. You know, it's all about you. If you've got a radio station or a radio DJ that's playing your music, please just take a moment to thank them. It
Yes.
takes, don't put a thumbs up,
No,
don't do a
absolutely.
like, don't
Yeah.
do a like. You know, that's to me, that's a little, sorry, this is how I feel. I find it a little bit insulting. Just, can't you just take the time to say, hey, thank you? Just, oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. You know, just make it like they're at least a little bit important. And you know, I try wherever I can now with these other artists that we're helping send out to radio. I try to tag them in wherever I can, and I can say to them, please go and thank them personally, because it does matter. You know, I've got radio DJs that I've been in touch with since I released my first album in 1992, and I've known these DJs since that time, and they're still playing my music, and now they're playing, you know, music that we are producing through indie music, and
That's,
that connection, that rapport with them is
yeah,
so important.
that's
You know, it
fantastic.
it, it really is. It's really important.
It's that community again.
Well, it is. It is. It
Really
is a
is.
big community. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But
Well,
it's
I love that what you all are doing and that you have a pretty good sized group of indie artists that you're working with. And I know you posted, this has been a while back, but you were posting that when you were reviewing the charts, like Joyce Ramgadi and different, that you saw a lot of your artists that you've been
yeah,
working with popping
yeah.
up on these charts. And
We had 8 in the top 20.
that's amazing. That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
it's good for me because I'd actually think, well, at least with me sending it out to radio, um, they are getting picked up. But what's also nice is that the quality of the songs and the artists, and I think too, the Kiwi voice is a little different, a little refreshing, maybe something different too. And what I love about some of the artists that we're working with is that they are doing original songs, and
Yes.
it's always nice. Once upon a time, you wouldn't dare send out an original song. You'd always do a cover or whatever. And as a DJ, I get about 50 to 60 songs at least a week from artists around the world, maybe more. And, you know, I don't want to hear Coal Miner's Daughter or Coat of Many Colors thrashed a dozen different ways. You know, to me,
Right.
you know, you have to do a really brilliant job of a classic or
You do.
something different to really make it stand out, or the DJ will still probably tend to go to the original, like Dolly Parton or whoever. They'll still go to the original. But if you you know, you don't have to be the songwriter, but if you could find somebody else who's writing really great songs, sing their songs, release some new stuff. There's always room for some new material. You don't have to thrash the old ones to death. And that's no disrespect to the song or the artist or anything like that. I'm
Yeah.
certainly not saying that. But I find that, you know, there's such a lot of good original material out there, or songs that you just haven't heard in a long, long time. Today I played a song that was off that Love, Love, Love album called Sweetheart. And it's an old Engelbert Humperdinck song. And I'd never heard a girl sing that song. And so I would sort of say to any girl singers, go and have a listen to some music that was around in the 70s or 80s or whatever from men that you've never heard, that is a song that you like, and put your spin on it, and you'd be the first one to release it as a female. That just be a little bit creative.
Original, add
Original,
something
yeah,
new
and
to it.
write your own, yeah. Find some new original material. Yeah, I just have to be careful that I don't say something that's going to offend somebody, because I don't mean to be offensive, but I just, that you don't want to have the same song brought out by 10 different artists.
No, but what you're
do
saying,
something fresh and new.
it's really valuable, Joy, because
Yeah.
you're doing the radio shows and you're working with indie artists. The things that you're saying and sharing with us are very valuable.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's like, oh, why is she saying that? Well, because you are really at the heart of what you're doing is really to promote these indie artists to their best.
Yeah, I had an incident years ago when I did my very first album. I had intended to do an album. This is kind of contradicting myself here now. This I was going to do an all original album. Here's me, a completely new artist, unknown by anybody. Okay, and I was going to do. I had a bit of success in the songwriting field, and I was going to do all original songs. And my auntie said to me, "I wouldn't buy it." And I went, "Why?" And she said, "Because there's nothing on there I know." And I thought, "Oh, you old bag." and then it's sort of, I was kind of annoyed with her because I didn't get it. And then I went into a record store. Remember those when we used to have record stores?
Yeah.
We don't have them anymore.
No.
I went in there and I picked up a CD. It was a cassette in those days. I picked up this cassette from a New Zealand country singer who's still performing. And I just looked at it and I put it down because there was nothing that I knew on there. And I thought, she's got a point. I think that now I could do an album of all original material and I think I would be fine. But when you're an artist that's just starting out, I would definitely recommend that you put a few covers on there, just so, because just a random song, say, somewhere between your heart and mine. Say, for instance, you were going to put an album out of original materials and you put that on there. If a person is looking at your CD and they see somewhere between, okay, they know that song, they know it in their head how it goes, they've just listened to you sing a song, so they like your voice, they like that song, they might buy that CD because of that one song, even if they'd not heard the rest of it.
Right.
I think it's a valid point to put, if you're a new artist, I think it's a valid point to put some songs on there that people know. But, I think for now I probably, every now and then I still throw a song to Gary about what I would like to do. And then I'm thinking, no, we need to be writing more of our own songs. Why should I be plugging other people's songs instead of writing our own? But yeah, I'm in a little bit of a drought where it comes to songwriting at the moment. I've just been too busy doing other things. So, but I need to. So,
well, you also help indie artists get out to radio stations by doing a compilation release. Is that correct? Yeah. And I think you tell me about that. You just do that to everybody.
Yeah, this is open to anybody, country music, because that's really the only, I've amassed a file of about 1,700 DJs worldwide from over the years, just collecting names and contact details and stuff. And so mostly I've been sending out my songs for years and years and years. I've been on lots of different compilation albums that have come out of the States, that have come out of the UK, that have come out of Australia over the years. It's cost me a small fortune. But that's one way that, you help to get your music out to different radio stations, because most people that are starting out, they don't have those contacts at all, So I decided that as part of what we're doing as indie music consultants, Gary creates the music, I do the artwork, and then I send it out to radio. That's if that's what they want. So that's kind of like the next phase. To me, it's a bit pointless if you've come up with a great song. Try and get it out there if you can. So we're trying to keep
Yeah.
it as affordable as possible. So you can do a single release, which I'll send out just on its own. And then we've just sent out one with 8 songs that's just gone out a couple of days ago. So we're starting to get DJs coming back now, and those songs are starting to appear on playlists now. So we probably know in about a week to 10 days how that's going. But we're still getting the last one that I put out in January, that's still getting, a lot of those songs are still getting airplay from DJs. So that's good.
Awesome.
And it's really good for the artists themselves to know. They wouldn't have expected to know that their music's been played in France or Denmark or Norway or Germany or Belgium. It's really cool to know. And a
Yeah.
lot of the people that we are working with, they don't have the budget for the big recording studios, but to me they don't need to.
They don't.
The songs need to stand up themselves. They need to be a good song. The vocals need to be good. The music needs to be appropriate for the song. The vocal is a standout. That's the most important thing. And I think that's why our songs are getting airplay, because they're recorded nicely.
They are.
We're not looking at budgets that are hundreds of thousands of dollars per song or tens of thousands of dollars per song, because people just don't have that sort of money.
Yeah.
And you could spend all the money in the world, but if you haven't got the money to market it, or you can't go with those big marketing outfits that cost thousands of dollars, and yeah, what we come up with a slogan on our cup was making dreams come true, one song at a time.
I love it.
And I love it too, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. These are artists that have been, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of these people, they've been singing at clubs and things like that, in bands or whatever, and they never ever thought that they would ever be able to record a song, and they've finally done it. And it's sort of, I've had that saying to me, you've made my dreams come true.
It's amazing.
And that's basically what we're trying to do.
I love
Making
it.
dreams come true, one song at a time.
One song at a time.
And that's cool, because
It is.
you don't have to do a whole album. You can just record one song.
Right.
And maybe later on you might want to do another one. And we've had situations where somebody has done that, and then they've decided, oh well, I really like doing that. Oh well, let's do a whole album.
Put it all.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good.
Well, I want you to remind everyone how they can best connect with you, because you have the radio shows, you have the ISA awards coming up, and the other awards coming up in the fall. And I want people to be able to connect with you, listen to your music, and vote, because your personal music is absolutely beautiful. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank
The
you.
music
Yeah.
that you do is very, very quality. And I want people to be able to connect with you. So tell them again, before we end up, exactly the best way to really connect with you and be able to engage with you on these different things.
Okay, well, probably Facebook is the easiest way. I'm not on Instagram or anything like that. Facebook, I think I'm just Joy Adams Music. So if you go facebook.com, Joy Adams Music, you should be able to find me. You'll see my fat little face up there in the corner, and you'll see anything to do with music. There'll be a radio show advertised or something like that, so it won't be that hard. Just say that, send me a little note. Send me a note on Messenger if you like. Say you watch the podcast, so I know, because I check you out before I say yeah. Radio Mix on Mixcloud, so it's just mixcloud.com, Joy Adams _radio mix. The J and the A and the R and the M are capitals, which is as clear as mud. So it's Joy Adams _radio mix, but the capital J for Joy, capital A for Adams, capital R for radio and capital M for mix.
Got
And
it.
that will take you straight to the Mixcloud shows. So they're all listed there. There's a number of shows up there at the moment. And my website is www.joyadams.co.nz or NZ.
For those of us over here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Joy, it has been an absolute joy speaking to you and having you on the podcast. I just want to thank you so very much for coming on and being a guest and sharing your love of music and indie artists and all that you have today. It's been an absolute joy having you.
Thank you. And, you're never too old to give up. And I never thought that I'd be at this age and still traveling and still doing what I'm doing now. Actually busier now than I've ever been in my life. I don't know if that's a good thing.
It's a great thing.
One song at a time.
One song at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, pretty much, actually. Thank you so much, Tammy. I really appreciate being on your podcast, and I wish you all the success in the world.
Thank you.